new BDS curriculum to be implemented. Please be seated. I request all the audience and the dignitaries to be seated. Before we proceed further, let us with a grateful heart seek the blessings of the Almighty for a fruitful discussion. Kindly stand for a silent prayer followed by the college anthem.
Thiruvananthapuram Dental College inu prakirthanam Thiruvananthapuram Dental College inu prakirthanam Thiruvananthapuram Dental College inu prakirthanam
Please be seated. As you are all well aware that we are gathered here today to have a panel discussion on the new National Dental Commission BDS curriculum, which is to be implemented. The curriculum aims at not only enhancing the theoretical knowledge, but also focus on the practical skills, patient-centric care. It emphasizes on early clinical exposures, interprofessional education, competency-based training, that prepares students for real-world challenges. And so, today, we have in our midst esteemed and eminent group of internal and external panelists from various branches of dentistry with wealth of knowledge who will shed light on the objectives of the curriculum, its expected outcomes, and potential challenges in implementing such a sweeping change to the existing educational framework. Let me take a moment, dear audience, to introduce and welcome our distinguished panelists for today's discussion. Let me first introduce the external panelist. We have with us today our external panelist, our very own Dr. Suchitra MS. Madam at present is the Professor and Head of the Department of Periodontics, Government Dental College, Kottayam. Her vast experience, wealth of knowledge and expertise will no doubt add to a very insightful discussion. We are thrilled to have you, Madam. Welcome to this panel discussion. I request our internal panelist, Dr. Divya PV, Additional Professor, Department of Periodontics, Government Dental College, Thiruvananthapuram, to welcome Dr. Suchitra MS and escort her to the dais. Next, on our panel discussion, we have a very well-known alumni, Dr. Ambli R., Professor and Head, Department of Periodontics, PMS Dental College, Vattapara. Madam holds many degrees, PhD, FDS, RCPS, Glasgow, a very active researcher with many projects at hand. Her experience, knowledge will definitely add to a valuable discussion. Welcome, Madam. I request our internal panelist, Dr. Kavita Janardhan, Associate Professor, Department of Prosthodontics, Government Dental College, Thiruvananthapuram, to escort Madam to the dais. The next external panelist needs no introduction. The dynamic, efficient Dr. Deepthi Simon, Madam at present is the Professor and Head of the Department of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, Government Dental College, Alappuzha. Her enthusiasm, energy and knowledge will benefit each one of us. Welcome to this panel discussion, Madam. I request Dr. Letty Francis, Assistant Professor, Department of Prosthodontics, Government Dental College, Thiruvananthapuram, our internal panelist, to welcome and escort Madam to the stage. The final external panelist for today's panel discussion is also our very own alumni, Dr. Sunila Thomas, Professor and Head of the Department of Oral Medicine and Radiology, PMS Dental College, Vattapara. She is well known in the dental circle for her efficiency, research contribution and knowledge. Her suggestions and inputs today will enhance and make this panel discussion a fruitful one. Welcome, Madam. I request Dr. Rashmi J, Assistant Professor, Department of Pedodontics, Government Dental College, Thiruvananthapuram, our internal panelist, to escort and lead Madam to the stage. I also welcome our Principal, Dr. Rita Madam, and our Vice Principal, Dr. Harshakumar Sir. Welcome. And to lead and moderate today's panel discussion, who else can we have other than our dynamic, knowledgeable and experienced faculty, Dr. Prashant V, Additional Professor, Department of Prosthodontics, Government Dental College, Thiruvananthapuram, who holds an FDS RCS degree from England. There is no doubt that you will keep this discussion lively, focused and meaningful, sir. Welcome. Over to you, sir.
Good morning. Welcome to this panel discussion. This is an awareness program, a sensitization program and a knowledge sharing platform for all of us. In India, when a curriculum is rolled out, generally all the stakeholders will be under pressure. Stakeholders mean students, teachers, government, administration, everyone, because they will not get adequate time for preparing for this new curriculum. In that aspect, we are very lucky because our newly introduced, going to be introduced curriculum is already available in the public domain, so that all the stakeholders can have a discussion on it. They can have fruitful preparation for the curriculum, and when they can give feedbacks as well, so that all the feedbacks will be taken care of when the final version of the curriculum is rolled out. Can you tell which is the landmark year in the history of dental education in India? It is 1920, because in 1920, Padma Bhushan Dr. Rafiuddin Ahmed started the first autonomous dental college in India in Calcutta. This was made possible by separating dentistry as a different branch of medicine. He started his first course in 1922 when the diploma course was started, and diploma course was having 1 year duration. That was known as LDSE. 10 years later, 1932, that became a 2-year course. 4 years later, in 1936, it became a 4-year course, and for the first time, the dental college was affiliated to Calcutta University. Don't think that this is the only college which is available at that point of time. In 1923, Punjab Dental College was started. 26, I think, American Dental College was started in Karachi. Karachi was that time with India. In 28, Andhra Dental College came up. Between 1933 and 36, many dental colleges came up. So dental education was happening in India as a 4-year course. A major change happened in 1948 when Dentist Act came. In 1948. To be precise, March 29th of 1948. And that year is also very important because Dr. R. Ahmed handed over his college to the government of West Bengal at that point of time. And he is regarded as a father of dental education in India. And later, after his death, that college was named Dr. R. Ahmed Dental College and Hospital, Calcutta. That happened. So that happened in 1948. 1 year later, that is 1949, to be precise, April 12th, Dental Council of India came up. So that is the time when the first curriculum came up. Okay? And that is very important year in the history of India, 1948 and 49. Then as time passed, lot of modifications happened in the curriculum. Lot of additions, shufflings happened. Existing curriculum makeup ittadupole. Okay? But there was no major change. Say for example, initially internship was not there. Then it became a 6-year optional internship. Then after some time it became 1 year compulsory CRRI. Then dental materials was made a 2nd year BDS subject. Perio and periodontics were shifted between part 1 and part 2. Only minor changes happened. Only minor changes happened in the curriculum aspect. But now this is a comprehensive revision that is happening after 75 long years. The dentistry in the world has progressed to another extent, and we are with the primitive 1948-49 curriculum with its makeups. So a 360-degree change in the curriculum happened now. It is happening now. In the new curriculum, everything has changed. Even the terms that we are using has changed. Say for example, BDS is a course as far as we are concerned. Now onwards, BDS is not a course, it is a program, just like your engineering and medicine counterparts say. It is a program. Each subject will be called as a course. So in the terminology that we are using, there is change in the new curriculum. So what is the importance of this particular curriculum? As I have told earlier, we are with the primitive 1948 curriculum for the last 75 years. Nothing has happened. And now a major change is happening, that we are becoming close to what is happening in the world. Say for example, our medical counterparts can go to US and England, they write USMLE exam lab and they can get into the system very easily. What about us? We cannot. We have to start from the scratches, from DDS onwards. So when this curriculum is enforced, that problem will be solved. So it's a very futuristic approach from Government of India, and this is in line with the national education policy of Government of India. So this is the rationale, or this is the background of conducting such a panel discussion. So we have, as you were introduced, as all the panelists are introduced to you. So without wasting time, we can go to a panel discussion. So format will be something like this. There are 13 different sections in the new curriculum, and we have, for convenience sake, we have divided it into 4 segments, and 4 internal panelists will be presenting briefly on those 4 core areas, and then we will have some question answer sessions which our external panelists will be answering. Internal panelists also will be contributing to that, and you can also ask questions, and this is how the program will go on. So I invite Dr. Divya to present the first of the 4 segments that will be happening today.
Thank you, Dr. Prashant. So I'll be just briefing on the first 4 parts of the new regulations. Actually, it has 13 parts. So I'll be dealing with the first 4 parts. So DCI, with the approval of central government, came out with the new BDS regulations 2023. So it will be once it is published in the Gazette, it will come into force, and this is a comprehensive revision that is happening after 75 years. So this is the current scenario of BDS course in India. That is 4.5 plus 1 year, total of 5.5 years. We have 3 course subjects per year, except for the last year where we have 4 subjects and a CRRI of 1 year. And when it comes to new BDS program, it is actually a semester system with 1 odd and 1 even semester in 1 year. And the university exam will be held at the end of the year. And here subjects are termed as course, and the course is renamed as program. That is what just Prashant sir told. That is, it is will be called as BDS program, and the subject is periodontics. It will be periodontics course. So these are the 13 parts. That is, I'll be just briefing the first 4 parts. That is the preliminary part, goals, objectives and recommendations, admission, selection and counseling, as well as duration of program, subjects and syllabus. So the preliminary part, or the part 1, deals with certain definitions like Act is Dentist Act of 1948, Council is Dental Council of India, NEET National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, as well as National Exit Exam. Then moving on to the goals, objectives and recommendations. So the goal of this new curriculum is to maintain the standard of BDS undergraduate at par with the global standard, and to improve the quality of dental care across the nation. So to achieve these goals, you should have certain objectives. So it is to create a LOBE curriculum, that is learning outcome based education curriculum. Then to incorporate choice-based credit system, which is stipulated by UGC and National Education Policy, to encourage the students to diversify their knowledge with electives and continuing education credits, to ensure holistic training with comprehensive oral and dental care training, to improve the standardization with extensive and trustable professional activities, and to induce transformational change in mind, body and spirit by incorporating well-being measures like yoga, environmental health, etc. So these are the recommendations that are suggested. That is, dental colleges are expected to transition towards comprehensive oral healthcare training, and emphasis should be given for technological enhancement to maintain the global standards. So part 3 deals with the admission, selection and the common counseling. This part, you are all familiar with this part. So we all know that students should have a +2 degree with physics, chemistry and biology, and should be qualified in NEET exam, and should complete 17 years as on 31st of December of the year of admission. And selection as well as counseling, both are based on the merit list of NEET, and the reservation is applicable as per the applicable laws prevailing in the respective state. The 4th part deals with the duration, subjects and the syllabus. So this is the part that we should focus on. So the commencement of the BDS program should start from the 1st of August of every year, and it consists of 4.5 years plus 1 year of paid CRI. So in the current BDS course, it is CRRI. Now it is CRI with minimum 240 teaching days in each academic year. An internship shall be compulsory, and the student shall obtain provisional registration from State Dental Council, and the BDS degree will be awarded only after completion of 1 year of paid CRI also. And the design of curriculum, the BDS program should follow the CBCS pattern, that is choice based credit system pattern, in accordance with the National Education Policy, and accordingly subjects will be termed as course. And it is, we have 2 types of courses, that is the core courses as well as electives. The core courses are 24 in number, and these are mandatory for graduation. And we have 6 categories of electives, and under each category you have a list of courses, and the student has the option to select a particular course from any category of elective. And along with that, non-CGPA courses are also there, which does not require an exam. And the course survey, at the start of the semester, the institution will conduct a survey to identify the students' preference for the eligible electives, And if the number of students for a particular elective is less than 20, the institution shall cancel the course option and request the students to take the available course in the college. And regarding the credits, 1 credit is equal to 20 hours of theory attendance or 40 hours of practical or clinical attendance. These are the 24 core courses which are distributed among 9 semesters. Of this, this practice management and forensic medicine and odontology are the new courses that are introduced in the curriculum. So elective courses comes under 6 categories, that is from the first sem onwards they can choose course from the research category, ethics and professionalism, as well as biomedical science. From the third sem onwards, alternative dentistry, and from fifth sem, advanced clinical training category, as well as clinical administration category. And 1 elective from each category is mandatory, and minimum 1 elective to be completed per semester, and total of 9 electives again mandatory. That means the student have to take multiple courses from multiple electives. So each elective carries 2 credits, that is equal to 40 theory or 80 practical hours. So this is the, so along with the core subjects in the first semester, the anatomy, physiology and biochemistry, we have ethics and professionalism elective, biomedical science electives, as well as research electives. This is from the third sem onwards. The student can choose any of the course from this alternative dentistry elective, and from the fifth sem, from advanced clinical training elective or clinical administration electives. So these are the requirements. So total of 9 in all categories combined, 9 minimum requirement is 9, and the total credit will be 18. And the comprehensive clinical requirements, they should also document 20 interdisciplinary cases by the end of CRI, which involves 3 or more disciplines by the end of internship to graduate. And they should also document all the certification requirements which is specified for internship under each course, that is details of which are given in Annexure C. Non-CGPA requirements are they should complete 1 year of CRI after completion of 9 semesters, which is equal to 2,555 hours of training or 61 credits. Again, 200 CDE credit points to receive 10 CBCS credits to graduate. And foundation courses, we have mandatory foundation courses as well as elective courses, but these 2 courses, foundation courses, are mandatory. That is, they should complete the 8COM, that is Attitude, Ethics and Communication, as well as Basic Life Support Training or ATLS to attend clinical postings. So these are the CRI credits, that is, this table shows the CRI credits. The total 365 days, 2,555 hours and 61 credits. So this credits, when you add it off, it comes to 63. It may be an error. So the detailed syllabus are annexed as Annexure B and Annexure C. So that comes to the end of the first 4 part. Thank you.
Okay, we have had a discussion on the first 4 segments of the new proposed curriculum. We received some of the questions. Can I ask those questions actually? Yeah, we will be taking up the questions on the section 1. Sujitra ma'am. Okay, madam. New BDS program has got 9 semesters. They say that it is semester system,
Yes.
but examinations are proposed at the end of the year. So how this is going to happen? You have any idea about what is happening?
Good morning all. From what I have understood after going through this regulations and all the Annexure B, actually it is contradicting. That is, in the first part, somewhere in the page 19, it is told that only at the end of each academic year there will be exams. But later on, when you come towards the end, that is the 33 page regulations, draft regulations. In 25th page, it is told that at the end of each semester, they will have exam. And what I feel is when a student is appearing or undergoing training in one course, at the completion of the course only we have to conduct the exam, because retention is very important when you are testing the student's knowledge or skill or anything. So I think maybe this is the draft which may be modified. So on inquiry of other streams like engineering and all, they have exams at the end of each semester. And also when they talk about the CGPA, which that is the master mark list, which will be given to the student at the end of CRRI. Only after they complete the house agency, they will be given the final CGPA certificate. And in that also they are telling about giving a semester grade point also, including the semester grade point. And when, if suppose if the student has appeared for the 5th semester and is applying for the semester grade point at that time,
There is mention on national exit examination, okay, in this document. What do you comment on that? Because in medical colleges they have proposed this exit examination. I don't think it is happening. So
there is some sort of exit exam, or that is considered as a licensing exam for anybody to practice in the medical field, because many of the students are going abroad for learning MBBS course. So naturally for them to come and practice in our country, they need to appear for this exam, and it is still being named as exit exam only. But here in dentistry, we don't get students who are getting trained from outside. But what they say in the regulations is that this exit exam will be having part A and part B. And the part A is they will be conducting a theory exam. That is, the dental council or whoever is the authorized body will be conducting a theory exam. I feel maybe for bringing in more standardization or testing, that whatever is there, even now we have PUHA's regulations and all, but we know that how far it is all being obliged. So maybe by conducting a final exit exam, we can make sure that all the students are standardized with regard to patient care or the knowledge to some extent. Maybe that is what they are thinking by introducing an exit exam. I feel it will be good.
okay. So far we heard 3 terms actually: regulation, curriculum and syllabus. So Mini is here. Dr. Mini, she is an expert in taking classes on curriculum. Can you please simply tell the difference between regulation, curriculum and syllabus?
Curriculum, syllabus and regulation. I was also confused with this term before attending the faculty development programs. And first about the curriculum. Curriculum means it embraces all learning opportunities, both formal and informal. Means ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു സ്കൂളിൻ്റെ കരിക്കുലം എന്ന് പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അത് അവരുടെ വിഷൻ ആൻഡ് മിഷൻ, ദെൻ അവരുടെ ലേണിംഗ് തിങ്സ് ലൈക്ക് സിലബസ്, ടൈം ടേബിൾ, ദെൻ അവരുടെ അസസ്മെൻറ്റ് പാർട്സ്. അത് മാത്രമല്ല അവരുടെ നോൺ ഫോർമൽ ഐറ്റംസ് ലൈക്ക് ട്രിപ്പ് പോകുന്ന, യൂത്ത് ഫെസ്റ്റിവൽ, ആർട്ട് ഫെസ്റ്റിവൽ, അതെല്ലാം കരിക്കുലത്തിൽ ഇൻക്ലൂഡ് ആവുന്നതാണ്. Then about the syllabus, it is just a list of subjects to be taught, including the timetable. Then coming to the regulation are a set of rules established by the government authorities to guide and assess the curriculum. So regulation rules the curriculum and syllabus is just a part of curriculum. Hope you all got it. Thanks.
Okay, what madam told was that the broader term is regulation. Regulation is the one which is passed by the parliament. But inside the regulation we have curriculum and we have syllabus. Okay, syllabus is just what you are learning, what are the topics, how many hours to be taken, what are the textbooks to be referred, all those things. Understood. Okay, madam, there is a term called entrustable professional activity which you used. Can you tell what exactly is entrustable professional activity in simple terms?
For understanding that concept, I think we have to think about the new teaching learning methodologies and what outcome we are expecting from the students. So in our traditional method of teaching learning that we are currently following, it's basically we are testing the knowledge and also the skill. So by following this new regulation or the new curriculum, what the government is planning or envisaging is it should be more technology oriented, and as you said in the beginning, it is futuristic. We, as Dr. Divya has told, it has been 75 years since revision has come. So now the new revision may be there for another 50 years. So it is futuristic. So this entrustable professional activity is actually, the word meaning is that students should be able to perform a skill under distant supervision. So for that, for performing any skill, you of course need the knowledge base, and then they need to be trained for them to be equipped to practice independently in their professional life. So they are given some sort of freedom, but we have, at the same time, we have to safeguard our patients as well. So I presume that, or I understand that they will be well prepared to for independent practice by making them training initially in the skill labs, which will be set up in each of the colleges, where they can learn on simulated models, and then they can work on the patients under distant supervision. That is an entrustable professional activity, and they expect the students to be competent enough to perform selected entrustable professional activities in each of the core subject. That is for practicing as a general dental surgeon. Hope you have understood.
So making a secondary impression is an entrustable professional activity. That means we can entrust a student to do it independently.
Yes.
And perfectly.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the concept behind entrustable professional activity. Okay, madam. Among the 24 core subjects, 2 are new: practice management and forensic odontology. Regarding practice management, how we will be going to handle it? It's a different course altogether.
Each of the core subjects in the regulations, it is told whether there is any prerequisite for the student to apply for that or for select that course.
Core courses, they have to do the core course mandatorily.
They have to, but initially that is the first 4 year subjects, that is the first years of 4 subjects: anatomy, physiology, biochemistry and dental anatomy. They don't have any prerequisite mentioned.
Yes.
But as you go on to the higher, that is the other core subjects, that is the out of 24, if we remove this 4, the 20 subjects, they mention about some prerequisite. And in this regulation, it is told for forensic odontology, for a student to select the course of forensic odontology, they have to complete that, and that is the dental anatomy, there is oral histology and things like that. So naturally, that subject will be dealt with that department. Similarly, for practice management, what they are telling is the students have to complete preclinical conservative dentistry and preclinical prosthodontics for a student to opt for practice management. So naturally,
we need to set up a different department for practice management.
What I presume is that may not be possible in the present framework, but since that 2 subjects, preclinical prosthodontics and conservative, is mandatory for the student to apply for this practice management, so those efficient and enthusiastic persons, doctors, faculty in the prosthodontics and conservative dentistry will be dealing with that subject.
That is going to happen. Okay.
I think so.
20 interdisciplinary cases needs to be completed during internship. So a comprehensive clinic become mandatory for this?
They are not telling that it is mandatory, but they say that each of the it's preferable for the institution to move into that comprehensive clinic.
Then only this interdisciplinary things.
But even now, from my experience, I think those students who are very much enthusiastic and all, they do present cases in undergraduate, that is at the various conferences and all, these interdisciplinary cases. And I understand that it is not only during the internship, the students can do even before. That freedom is being given. But and in the CRI also it is told that if the student is working, if the intern is working in the comprehensive clinic set up in the college, these credits in each department will be changed, rather it will be counted based upon the number of hours the intern will be working in the comprehensive clinic. So what I understand it is not mandatory. They are, you can set up, they are giving some time for all of us to adapt to this.
Dr. Ambali, you have a comprehensive clinic system in your college. You have experienced both. So what is your comment on having a comprehensive clinic in order to make this 20 interdisciplinary cases to happen easily?
Before answering the question, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to this prestigious forum. And it's always a privilege and honor for me to be here in my alma mater, and especially on discussion of the curriculum in front of many of my teachers have given me the basics of dentistry. So for answering the question, we have been following this comprehensive system for the last, from 2019 we started this comprehensive system in our college. So we have 5 comprehensive clinics where the specialists from all the departments together work. Instead of UG clinics separately for each department, we have 5 comprehensive clinics where each specialist, for example, in clinic 1 there will be a perio faculty, there will be a conservative faculty, prostate faculty, like that from every discipline there will be a faculty in each clinic. And the students are posted entirely in that particular clinic instead of going to different departments for posting. So they will have the option to provide treatment for the patient for whatever treatment they require, be it in prosto, in conso, in perio, whatever treatment that particular patient demands, that can be provided by the single student. So that is the advantage of this comprehensive system, and they will get guidance from the same clinic itself. So for patients also it's very advantageous because they don't have to wander around in between departments. The basic treatments all will be provided in a single clinic itself. And regarding completing 18 comprehensive clinics, comprehensive cases, 20 somewhere it's written 18 credits. 18 credits. So it's possible, as Sujitra ma'am said, it's possible even in existing system, especially for enthusiastic students. But it's more easy in case of a comprehensive system because they can work in the same area where they will get opportunity to do the different types of treatment. But it's possible even otherwise also, but for those who are really motivated. So that is
it
what
makes things much easier in a comprehensive clinic.
Things will be more easier in a comprehensive system. At least for the interns, if you have a comprehensive system in the clinic, so that will be better to complete this credit points.
In a comprehensive system, the cooperation between clinics, various departments is also very critical because all are working together in a particular, so you need to have a protocol in a comprehensive clinic.
Definitely there are advantages and disadvantages, and initial hiccups also will be there.
Yes.
That you have to move on with the system.
Okay. So one more question, Sujitra madam.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Since you are having this comprehensive clinic in your college, from which year onwards students are deputed to this center? Because in some other states, they say from first year onwards the students are exposed, early clinical exposure is being given by posting them to this, just to observe and learn.
Ma'am, in comprehensive clinic, posting is given from 3rd year onwards only, but this early exposure to clinics is being followed in our college from 1st year onwards. 1st year students will have introduction to clinics. So that is an orientation program. They will just have they will observe the different procedures being done in the clinic. So they will have an idea what are the things that is done in dentistry. Many of us were not having any idea regarding dentistry when we joined for the course. So that problem can be addressed here by giving an early exposure to the basic science students also. But comprehensive posting as it is given from 3rd year onwards only.
Can I give an explanation on this particular aspect? There is early clinical exposure. Actually, this is going to happen in the new curriculum. That means students will be posted in the clinic from 1st year BDS onwards. That is known as early clinical exposure as part of the new curriculum. Because they will not do any clinical work. When they are doing, say for example, when you are doing an occlusal rim in the preclinical lab, at the same time they will go to the clinic and see what the seniors do with the occlusal rim. So they understand what is the use of the occlusal rim. They come back and do. So that is a concept behind early clinical exposure. So that is going to happen in our college also once the new curriculum is implemented. I think that is a very innovative step by the
that is seen in the new curriculum. Madam, last question. Only 15 days of posting is there in orthodontics. I mean, during internship. What is your comment on that? We are helpless on that, but still, what is your comment on that?
That is, I also found it too surprising. Not only in the internship, when I went through the regulations, it is actually during the course itself, the credits given for orthodontics during these 4 subjects. That is, as a subject for conservative dentistry and prosthetics, it is around 110 credits, and for anatomy around 70, for oral medicine and for pedo it is 65, and for biochemistry and all it is 40. So biochemistry, we also, when we learned, it is not naturally orthodontics is considered as a weightage, the subject which gives most weightage because it is included in the final year subject. So when we go through that, the orthodontics have only 50 credits.
50 credits. I think Ortho Society should look into the matter, and
Yes,
they should
because
represent accordingly.
they are considered as a non or I don't know why it is so. And one more thing, certain other things which I would like, before we go move on to the, shall I?
Yeah, sure,
move
sure.
on to the next for the sessions. In this, what I presume is that we have been now, all the discussions were mostly directed towards us faculty to be sensitized with the new system, but here majority are students sitting here. So all of you people have been through the COVID time, and you were all to sensitized with the hybrid learning, isn't it? That is, with the whole world of digital technology out there, you all sat at home and you all studied. So in this futuristic new educational policy, the government is envisaging that we have to embrace the technology and we have to move on with the power of technology in education. So education is also evolving. So 2 terms which have been introduced, which I saw interesting, it is education 4.0. It is written that education 4.0. So that is the 4, the digit means 2 things here. That is, we are currently facing the 4th industrialist revolution. The first was with regard to coal, then it was gas, then it is the electronics and other things, and now what we are facing is the industrial revolution is happening with the Internet of Things and the other with that area, AI and all. So we also have to move on. Our students are all digital, more digital savvy than we, that is the older generation. So we have to get our students prepared towards the future. So, and in this new system, the students are given, that is, and studies have proved that semester systems are more efficient or outcome. When you test the outcome, semester system is better than the year-wise system, and it provides for accelerated learning. And of course, the teaching learning methods will be changed from you becoming the passive learners, you are becoming the active learners, and we'll be just mentors, will be helping you to use how to use this, all the materials available in the technology. And you will be given freedom to choose your, that is, when you are given freedom, you people will be responding well. That is what the whole premise is, that it is built upon that. You are given the autonomy to choose your subjects, that is the courses which you can select, and when do you want to select all those things, that is the electives, which are all your other areas of interest other than the core subjects in dentistry. So it is all more student centric is the more the policy that is being built up.
Madam told a very important point as far as you are concerned. You can select electives just like your engineering friends do. So little bit away from dentistry but related to dentistry. So when you pass your course, you will, when your BDS program, you will be given a certificate citing the various electives that you have passed. If you take a specific number of electives, you will be given BDS honors.
That is,
right?
If you are taking 14 electives, mainly it is only 9 electives, but there are many from which you select the 9. If you are completing those who are motivated, and if you are completing 14, and among which 6 are from one category, you will be, that is BDS graduate with BS honors in that. If the research field is taken, that is honors in research. And then another thing which is given in this is, there is an option for those students who have enrolled in the BDS program, and after first year or so, they feel that BDS dentistry is not for me.
Madam, that option is taken out.
Okay.
That option is taken out. There are
that is the alternate degree.
alternate degree is taken out. It is not now. They have removed it. Already they have removed it. There is no provision for alternate degree
Yes,
now.
that is what.
No, that is taken out.
And then they are, regarding the credits and all, it is all will be dealt with later. So we are all enthusiastic teachers of older generation waiting to see how you students will be performing with the new education. Of course, it may not be applicable for you, but it is, and I would like to get, what do you people feel about the new policy when it is becoming more interactive?
Any student, please. Can you comment? ഒന്നും പറയാനില്ല. Okay, right. Any questions from the audience? I mean, there are senior faculty members here. Any question?
Good morning all. What about the assessment of the electives? When will be the exams be conducted? Is it mandatory to pass the elective to move on to the next year and all?
That is, there are certain electives which will be included in the, which will be
Yes,
graded.
yeah,
There are
all
certain electives, yes, but it is not mandatory that they are telling you cannot. Regarding the core subjects, they are telling that you can have only one arrear subject. You can move on to the next semester with an arrear subject, but if there are two arrear subjects, you cannot move on to the next semester. But regarding the electives, that is another area, gray area, which I also feel there are many other alternative streams.
Yes, I think Kavita has worked on that particular topic. Kavita, what is, can you tell 2 words about the electives criteria for, clearing the electives, something like that?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, there can be only 2 arrears. Like core subject, as ma'am said, if there are only 2 arrears, if there are 2 arrears, you cannot appear for the next advanced course. You have to clear that arrear, only then only you can appear for the next course.
Regarding electives, is there any pass criteria? If you did not complete the minimum requirement of an elective, can you go to the next year?
But that is not mentioned.
That is not mentioned actually. That is not mentioned.
I think electives will be considered only for calculating CGPA.
Yes.
That is not for awarding the degree. I mean, for the university exam for each semester or for a year, only the core subjects will be considered, not the electives.
You know the difference between GPA, SGPA and CGPA? For each subject, what you get is GPA, grade point average. In the first semester, everything together, that is SGPA, semester grade point average. All the semesters together, you will be getting CGPA. So when you write your first examination, you will be getting only GPA and SGPA. When you write your second semester examination, then 2 SGPAs combined, giving the CGPA. This is how it goes. So CGPA calculation is complicated on, I think that is Dr. Kavita will be discussing on the CGPA calculation aspect. Any other question from the audience? Senior faculty professor.
So I just want to ask Dr. Divya. So you have the experience with the comprehensive clinic and the system we had when you were as a student here. So what tangible benefits you feel you have seen? I mean, how would you compare these two in terms of students have changed over the years, but overall, what is your take on?
Sir, as I said, there are advantages and disadvantages, definitely. So for a third year student, I feel it's very difficult to train them in all the subjects together, because otherwise we will be allotting the minimum 30 days or 15 days to a particular department where we initially give the basics regarding that particular subject. Here they come, they have to do all the treatments together, they have to be trained in every subjects together. So that becomes a challenge for the student, that is what I feel. But once they start, once they complete the basics regarding every discipline, then it becomes easy. So from the final year or for the interns, it's very beneficial. So they can provide all the treatments just like how we do in clinics. When we get a particular patient, what all treatment is required, we can give all the treatments for that particular patient by a particular student alone, under the guidance of different specialty teachers. So that is definitely an advantage. But initial learning curve is a big problem. They have to learn all the subjects together, and there will be some ego clashes between the different departments. Like that, we have to properly plan and execute, otherwise it becomes a difficult thing.
So we have very senior faculty members here. Ravi sir has, he will make some comments on whatever he has heard so far.
See, the system is in the premature stage, but discussions like this will contribute a lot as far as the dentistry is concerned. And I think it makes the system more, in one way, it makes it more helpful for the students, and as well as it gives a total assessment of how we can improve our curriculum as well as the teaching methods, so that the students will be more attracted towards dentistry. You know, the people think that once the system has been made very complicated, that people will stay away from dentistry. And like in MBBS, NMC, they have already introduced the system, and I find it's very systematic and very good. You know, as the right from the setting of the question papers, how the exam is very strict, but it is very systematic. And as far as in a clinical perspective, MBBS student, once he completes its scores, he is competent enough to handle even the casualty alone. So I find it wonderful. So I also anticipate such kind of changes in the future for our upcoming graduates as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other question from anyone? So can we move on? Yes, we'll go to the next session. Dr. Kavita, please.
Respected Vice Principal Dr. Harshovamar sir, heads of the various departments, professors, esteemed panelists, and colleagues and dear students, a very good morning to you all. So I'll be dealing with part 5 and 6 of the new BDS curriculum. So part 5 mainly deals with migration and shifting of students and transfer of internship. So migration is mainly permitted, as per the new education policy 2020, students are allowed to move only from one DCI recognized institution to another DCI recognized institution. And it is permitted only between the 3rd to 8th semester. And if a student hasn't cleared an examination in the parent institution, then he is not eligible to transfer his attendance credits to the new institution. So he has to restart all incomplete courses in the new institution. And the recipient institution cannot accept students beyond its admission capacity. And there are certain designated authorities who can grant the migration depending upon the parent and the recipient institution, like the registrar if it is between two institutions within the same university, or if it is between two different universities, then the Director of Medical Education will be granting the migration. And if it is between two states, then the Dental Council of India will be granting the migration. And the student has to furnish an application form and has to pay an amount of ₹1,000 and no objection certificate from the concerned authorities. And then a copy of the mark sheet or academic bank of credit report of all the previous semesters should be submitted, and the classes attended in the parent or relieving dental college before migration also should be submitted for migration. And once found satisfactory, migration should be granted within 15 days from the date of receipt of application, and it should be duly informed to the DCI. And for credit transfer, the university shall issue a transcript and also complete the entries into the or update the academic bank of credit for that particular student. Then, in the case of shifting of students, if the dental college is getting closed down, then the students should be shifted to the nearby dental colleges by the state, okay? And in consultation with the Dental Council of India and the affiliating university, and strictly based on available vacancies. They can't accept students beyond their capacity based on the vacancies only. And for transfer during internship, the student should get an NOC from the parent and the transferee dental college. And as I said earlier, the recipient institution cannot accept a student beyond its admission capacity.
and then upon completion of the internship at the recipient institution, they should inform the parent institution. It is from the parent institution that the completion certificate will be granted. Now moving on to the next part, credit transfer. For credit transfer to be possible, all institutions should register into the National Academic Depository. And it is called ABC, or Academic Bank of Credits, which allows one's own academic path, which allows a student to choose one's own academic path to attain a degree or diploma. And it also provides lots of options for course corrections. That is, in between the student is shifting courses, its credits can be transferred. And the students can enroll in the Academic Bank of Credits even when it is made available by the UGC. Currently, it is not possible. It has to be made possible by the UGC. And the student shall be permitted to transfer credits for elective courses across any DCI recognized institution in the country. That is, the student can opt for elective course in any institution. But if the student is pursuing core course in another institution, then he has to get prior permission from the Dental Council of India. Otherwise, it is between two institutions. But for core course, he has to get permission from the DCI. Next part deals with examinations. It's discussed under 15 headings. The scope, that is, these regulations are applicable for all BDS professional degree examinations conducted by the Dental Council. And then the scheme of the examination, it is basically choice-based credit system. So that it allows for multiple schemes of exams. And the student can choose the order in which they can pursue a course within the program based on their individual capacity and personal factors. That is, when a student joins for the BDS program, he can choose from the first 6 basic science subjects. And once he has cleared the basic science subjects, he will attain the prerequisite for applying for an advanced course. If he doesn't clear the exam, but he has fulfilled all the attendance as well as the formative requirements, then he can take up the advanced course, and this subject will be an arrear. And as ma'am mentioned, there cannot be more than 2 arrears. Okay. So students should not have more than 2 arrears to take up a new core course. Then a student has the flexibility to take any course they are eligible within the following guidelines. That is, a student can enroll in a maximum of 32 credits in a semester. That is, for the first year, there are 6 options. But the credit point is only 32. So she can choose only 2 or 3 courses. Then a student can enroll in any course if they have completed all the prerequisites successfully, and can enroll in courses offered by the institution or university in a particular time period. So this is how the prerequisites are there for the different courses. Like the basic courses, there are no prerequisites. And when it comes to advanced courses like pathology, dental pharmacology, you can see there are certain prerequisites that has to be completed. And this will be discussed in the core course mapping. See, here you can see that there are 24 core subjects. And the first part, or the first half, is the preclinical course, and the second half is the clinical course. So in the first half, you can see that if a student has to appear for general pathology, then that green marking, he has to clear anatomy, physiology, as well as biochemistry. Or in the clinical course, if you take the case of prosthodontics, you can see that he has to clear preclinical prosthodontics as well as oral pathology. Oral pathology is a must, except for, I think, pediatrics, no. Except for orthodontics, oral pathology is not compulsory. I don't know why it is given like that. But for all other courses, this oral pathology is compulsory. Then evaluation. There will be a formative evaluation as well as summative evaluation. So formative evaluation is based on day-to-day assessment, not just the exams. It's based on a day-to-day assessment and like his preparation for seminar, clinical case presentations, etc. And the number and frequency of the internal examination is the discretion of the institution. The institution can choose how many internal assessments has to be conducted. And it carries up to 60% weightage to the overall GPA. And also it is given there is no minimum requirement in formative assessment to pass a course. I think we'll have a discussion on that. Then 50% marks in summative assessment and overall GPA is mandatory to graduate or pass for the course. Like the student can be evaluated under the following headings, like preparation of subject for student seminar, clinical case discussion, etc. Then coming to summative evaluation, like in the old syllabus, there are theory papers, practical sessions, and only 2 examinations per year. Then methods of evaluation, there will be written examination, practical or clinical examination, and viva voce. But the practical examination will be in the objective structured clinical evaluation form, OSCE. Then 75% of attendance is mandatory in a course. Currently it is 80%. It's given 75% as per the new curriculum. But that 80% attendance is mandatory for KUHAS. But DCI has suggested 75% attendance only. And moreover, important thing, students cannot demand extra classes. It is solely the discretion of the staff. Then the mark distribution. For the summative examination, the total mark is 200 marks, 100 for the theory and 100 for the practical. And the formative assessment will be done under different headings like formative theory, assessment 1, 2, 3, 4. And all of these need not be theory examinations. It can be, as I told, like a clinical presentation, case discussion, all these can be conducted to assess the students. And moving on to grading and CGPA calculation. So there are 2 types of grading suggested. One is relative grading and other is the absolute grading. Relative grading means we take the mark of all the students and then take the percentile, just like we do for the entrance examinations. Or it can be absolute grading, where the marks will be divided into different sections and the grades will be allotted accordingly. So it is a 10-point grading system is recommended by DCI. So you can see the points that are grade points that are given for each of the grades. And if a student fails in the examination, then his grade will be 0. And for non-credit courses, it will be satisfactory or unsatisfactory. That will be the grading. There will be no points. Now, calculation of CGPA. So first we have to know what is credit. Credit is the unit by which the course work is measured. Okay. So it determines the number of hours of instructions required per week. So that is the credit. Okay. Now credit point means it is a product of grade point and the number of credits for a course. So here you can see the grade point, and that grade point multiplied by the number of credits for a course will give the credit point or the weighted grade. Okay. Now cumulative grade point average is the measure of overall cumulative performance of a student over all semesters. That is the credit point for all the courses for the entire programs, divided by the total credit hours will give the CGPA. Have you understood? So the same thing explained once again. Instead of credit point, the term used here is weighted grade. Okay, it's the same. So grade point multiplied by the number of credits will give the weighted grade, and you add up the weighted grade for all the courses and divide it by the total credit hours. So that will give you the CGPA. So the total CGPA credits of the program should not be less than 185 core plus 18 elective and 6 comprehensive credits, totally 209 credit points. Total CGPA credits. Now criteria to declare a pass, there should be 50% or GPA minimum of 5 of the total marks in any subject, separately in theory as well as in practical. Then for a preclinical examination, minimum 50% of marks in practical and viva voce combined together. And 65% marks is considered as first class, and 75% means 75% in theory and practical separately will secure a distinction. Other successful candidates will be placed in second class. And if a candidate is reappearing, then he has to appear for both theory as well as the practical examination. Even though he has failed in only one, he has to appear for both, same like the old syllabus. And he should clear the course within a period of 10 years, including compulsory internship. And no university is permitted to conduct the university examination more than 2 times in a calendar year. And a student cannot carry more than 1 paper in a semester. Okay. And 5 grace marks will be given for each university examinations. And retotaling and reevaluation is also possible. So a student should complete 24 core courses with a minimum score of 50% in summative assessment, GPA of 5 against a maximum of 10, completed 9 electives with at least 1 elective in each category with a minimum grade of 5, and minimum CGPA of 5, and 10 continuing dental education non-CGPA course credits, and minimum 1 year of internship, and has acquired 61 credits. It's difficult to by heart all this, that's why I'm reading out. And has managed independently, performed and documented 18 comprehensive clinical cases with at least 3 interdisciplinary procedures for a minimum of 6 credits. And so an outgoing graduate should not have less than 173 core credits, 6 comprehensive clinical credits, 18 elective credits, 10 CDE credits, and 61 CRI credits, totaling 270 credits. So of these, 197 credits shall be minimum credits used for CGPA, and successfully pass the next theory exam, that is level A. So all these should be there if a student has to clear the, student has to be declared a pass. Then honors, as madam mentioned, if a student is able to complete 14 electives, then he will be awarded an honors degree. And of these, if 6 are in the same category, then honors will be in that particular category. Like if it is in research, it will be BDS honors in research degree. Then there are 4 types of mark statement. One is the statement at the end of a course, end of the semester, then CGPA statement, and finally a gradation certificate or the exit certificate. Then stipend will be given for the 12 months. Then for conducting an examination, he should have an MDS, a faculty should have an MDS degree and minimum 5 years of MDS teaching experience, and he should be in a position of associate professor or above. And if a student wishes to discontinue a course in between, then its credits will be transferred to the allied courses. Then there is the exit assessment, that is next part A, which is a theory examination, national level theory examination, which will be conducted during the internship period. And a candidate should score 50% in this exit examination. And the next part B means it's a CGPA including all these points, and he will be issued a certificate. Only with this certificate he will be able to appear for the PG examination. So that finishes the part 5 and part 6. Thank you.
It looks very complicated. You were very excited about the new curriculum, but the pass criteria is very, very difficult.
Pass criteria looks little tricky and complicated, right? So, few questions, madam. Credit transfer is very, very important. Can you say something about this credit transfer? It is already done in engineering field and other fields. Can you say something about this credit transfer?
Credit transfer, what I understood is elective for electives, credit transfer is possible without, even without migration. One student can take up an elective subject in another dental institution, and the credits that they gain from that institution will be transferred to their parent institution. So that is without migration or transfer of the institution. And for the core subjects also, one core subject can be done in another institution.
With the permission of DCA?
DCA permission has to be obtained, but I don't know how far it's possible to do a core subject in another institution, because it's not one core subject alone that is done in one semester or one course. So practically it won't be possible to do one subject in one college and the other subjects in another college. So it may be, working in situations where the student will have one arrear left out, and due to some practical difficulty they cannot go back to the parent situation, or due to some other personal or some other reason, if they cannot continue with the parent institution for one particular subject, that may be beneficial for the student to do it in another college. And especially it's also important when one particular department of one particular institution is really good in providing the education in terms of theory as well as practical, students can opt for that particular department, irrespective of the college where they study. And it's very important for the elective subjects, because elective again you can choose, may not be there in every institution. So some institutions may be good in research, some institution may be good in practice management courses. Earlier there was a discussion regarding who will conduct the practice management sessions. So those things can be taken up by the institutions who are having full-fledged departments for that particular specialty, and students can opt that particular institution, but their credits will be transferred. And this academic credit transfer system is working in India in other disciplines, for example engineering and management studies. This system is being followed right now. For dental it's a new thing, but it can definitely be advantageous to the students.
Yes, students need to create an APAR ID and institution need to be registered in the
Aadhaar also
national
has to be linked.
depository.
The credit will be transferred immediately to the parent institution.
Okay. Actually, regarding formative assessment is new internal assessment. In formative assessment, 50 marks formative assessment for theory and 50 mark for practical. Formative assessment comes to around 60%, and they have told that there is no minimum requirement to. So, in what way this is going to affect?
But 60% is for the CGPA calculation.
Yes.
For university exam clearing, this 50 marks, there is 1/3 of the total marks will be formative assessment, and 2/3 will be the university
examination. Yes,
and
but that is huge marks, 50 for theory and 50 for practical.
But they have given divisions to give flexibility to the student-centric mode of learning. Like we can opt different methods of assessment, not only the internal, the routine internal examination that we follow. We can consider the paper presentations, the research project they undertake, the funding they have obtained, then case presentations. All these can be included in the, it's a day-to-day assessment rather than formative assessment in the real sense. It's a day-to-day assessment of the student rather than assessing at the end of the first 3 months by conducting an internal assessment exam. We can assess the student on a day-to-day basis.
Formative assessment can be a very tricky thing, a double-edged sword, because this much of weightage. And this depends upon the ethical standard of the institutions regarding the award of this internal marks, huge marks. So there may be issues with the award of internal assessment marks happening across various institutions. Some institutions maintain very good ethics and standards in awarding marks, but there are certain institutions which blindly grant around 80 to 85% marks to their students. So when it becomes a competition or a comparison of marks, I don't know how this is going to work out in Indian scenario where ethical standards are not very high. Ambali, what is your comments on that?
The intention is good, but practically how long it's possible, that has to be regulated by authorities.
Yes, unless it is not, because it is formative assessment is day-to-day assessment. So how you behave to the patient, how you talk to your teachers, how you talk to your seniors. So what kind of instruments you do, what sterilization standards you maintain, what kind of seminars you present. So everything else can be graded. So how much fairness each institution and the department will maintain in awarding these marks to the students is a very big challenge in Indian scenario.
But to overcome that, I think they have included one sentence, that is, whatever be the assessment method, it has to be structured and it has to be documented with evidence.
Yes, but most of the assessments are subjective. That is the problem. Assessing the seminar, assessing the behavior, all those things are very subjective, and I think university has to come up with some mechanism to regulate. Otherwise, this will be a big problem.
That is when you assess the paper presentation and all, no? We have different categories under which we score.
Yes, but how fairly that is done?
Yes, that is such thing.
Okay. Then students will have the choice to select the courses for each semester based on their eligibility. That is course mapping. That course mapping slide is there. You find anything interesting or tricky here? For first year BDS in anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, subject? Dental anatomy. If you have carry over second year we can learn all the subjects. Will it be possible here? Just have a look. Anatomy, physiology, biochemistry pass ayale ningalku second year la general pathology padikkan pattullu according to this. So course mapping is very critical. Don't say that even if we say there is carryover, you will not have blind carryover. There are certain pre-requirements to attend for the next core course. Ambali madam, what is your comments on that? Please have a look at it and say.
It's a new thing in old bottle, it seems. but some flexibility is there, like preclinical subjects we can complete without any prerequisite. Microbiology you can do without any prerequisite, but I feel it's done along with pathology. The exam is being conducted along with pathology, then it becomes tricky. Then oral pathology, there is no prerequisite, so we can finish those subjects. Even if the student fails in one of the other subjects, they can go for a subject without any prerequisite.
So this is not an actual carryover. That is one of the core courses in the next year you cannot touch if you fail it in some course.
Yeah, the first part of the courses are courses without
tell
any.
about
The second one we have
year.
to definitely complete.
Yes. Yes. So
But
this is
2 areas are also there. That is again giving a
but if
flexibility.
the physiology is the arrear, they cannot go for general pathology classes.
But they can go for the class, but they
They cannot write the examination.
They can also write the exam. They can carry 2 subjects as arrear.
No. See this.
But
See
mapping, sir, they have to complete the requirements for entering into the exam. They don't have to pass
you
the
have to
exam.
register for the course. That is what Kavita has told.
No.
No, I'm asking. You told if you register for the core course the next year,
They don't
you
have to
need to
pass, sir.
fulfill the pre-requirement. No, that is contradictory.
No,
That is contradictory.
Dr. Prashant, what they are telling is, if the student has the 75% attendance and all the formative requirements and the other, and the student has failed only in the summative assessment, all the other things, pre-requirements is there, they can go for the next subject in the next semester.
Next semester. Then
Yes.
if they don't fulfill the requirements,
They cannot.
They cannot.
Yes.
So they need. There has to be a complicated monitoring system. Okay. Relative grading. Can you say something about relative grading?
Relative grading, what I understand is relative grading is like percentile marks. For the NEET cut-off mark, we give percentile mark. 50%. 50 percentile means if 100 students are writing the exam, the mark that is got by the 50th student. If you arrange the order of marks from the top to down, the 50th person, what mark he got, that will be the 50th percentile instead of 50%. So this is not a system to be followed for awarding the degree, but in some disciplines, like I feel in chartered accountancy, there is
In
this
engineering
system.
also it is, sir. In some universities follow relative grading,
But
because there is no pass mark as such. So 50th student, what marks got, that will be the.
That can be an advantage and disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Suppose all the students are good in performing. For example, they are getting 80% marks and above. 50% students are getting 80% and above. The 50th percentile will be 80%.
Yes.
So those who get 79% also will be failed in the exam.
Yes,
That is a disadvantage. But that becomes an advantage in situations when the exam is a very tough exam. So in that case, it can be an advantage.
Okay.
Thing to be added in that is they are telling in the final CGPA which will be awarded at the end of the internship, the relative grading of each subject will also be shown.
Yes.
For outside universities and all, so they will understand whether that was an easy course or a tough course.
Yes, definitely. Is there any other question from the audience, or Mali madam can add few points?
No, my doubt is that who will take these elective courses? The college have the facility, or they have to go to another institution and take?
College should have the facility to conduct elective courses under these 6 specializations. But who is the faculty who is going to pay for them? God knows. In a government sector especially. So some electives will not be available for the students of our college. So whatever we can offer, that will be available. Or else they can choose an elective course which is happening in some other college. Is it, madam?
That is what I understand. They can choose another institution for doing the elective. And they have also written that if the student number is less than 20, that elective course cannot be conducted. Even if we offer that facility, if the number of students opting that particular elective course is less than 20, we cannot conduct that course.
Suppose we are proposing a course like a dance and dentistry, and 20 students are not registering for that minor, that is not going to happen. So yoga and if yoga and dentistry can come, dance and dentistry can also come. It is not a problem. Yes, I think we can go to the third segment. I mean, Tinky madam has something to tell. Yeah, 20. Yes. Admission capacity of the college. Elective courses also. You cannot conduct in a 50, as far as I know, I have discussed with it, if the admission capacity is 50, our elective course number cannot become 100 on 150. So there is a ceiling, yes. That's permission, yes. College has to give permission forwarded to DCI for approval, yes, yes.
Dr. Kavita in her presentation was mentioning about what will happen if a dental college closes. And these students will be admitted to the nearby dental college, right? Provided there is vacancy. Suppose a college with 100 admission decides to close down, what would be the fate of the students? That is one of the issues.
Yes, Kavita, what will happen? In other colleges, they can accommodate in other colleges. Just like what happened when a medical college was closed down in Kerala. That is the problem. I think when we will wait for some college to close down, so that what will happen to, we'll see what will happen to the students.
Maybe that is why, because all students will not pass and go to the next year, right?
Yes.
So if 50 students are there at the first year, definitely some 10 or 5 people would have become additional. So that year they can accommodate. That is why they divide and distribute among colleges, right?
Colleges.
So in that way we may be able to overcome that.
It is good for the students that they fail if their college closed down. Okay, I think we can go to the third section. Who is presenting? Dr. Liti.
Good morning, one and all. I'll be presenting the part 7 and part 8 of the curriculum. Part 7 deals with teaching hours and credits. So for a program, there should be a minimum teaching hours. So the teaching hours has been converted into credits for the choice-based credit system. I'll just give an example. That is, for the dental materials course, the student has to attend 80 hours of lecture so that they will get a theory credit of 4. And practical hours, the student has to attend 240 practical hours to get a credit of 6. So that gives a total of 320 hours for the dental materials, that is the theory plus practicals, and a credit of 10. For, as you see, it's not just prosthodontics, it is oral and maxillofacial prosthodontics in the new curriculum. So in prosthodontics, the student has to attend 110 hours of lectures to get a credit of 5.5 and a clinical hour of 370 so that they get a credit of 9.25, which is rounded off total to 15. And the total hours they have to attend, that is theory and practical, amounts to 480. So for each subject, that is from the first year onwards, they have given the theory hours and the practical hours and the credits for each and every subject in the whole BDS program. And the whole, that is the core subjects, total hours the student has to attend amounts to 5,280. And the student will get a credit of 173. Next is, that was the core courses. Next is the elective courses. They have to, that is the student has to attend 360 lecture hours to get a credit of 18. And a comprehensive case documentation, clinical hours 240 to get a credit of 60. And regarding the non-CGPA, that is no exam, they have to attend, the student has to attend orientation lectures, 8Com or behavioral sciences, CRI credits, CD credits, all those credit points plus the core and the elective, the student should have a credit of 270 in total. So what are the minimum teaching hours? So as said earlier, you have 9 semesters. So in each semester, that is for one semester, 8 teaching hours per day, on an average 25 days per month for 5 months per semester. That is 8 into 25 into 5, you have 1000 hours. And total hours of the program, that is the BDS program. So 1000 hours for 9 semesters, 9000 hours. And internship, 8 hours a day for 225 days, that is 1800 hours. So the total hours a student after completing a BDS program, they will have to attend 10,800 hours. And 5 months will be working in a semester, and 1 month, that is up to 30 days, it is exclusively kept as a buffer or holidays or vacations in each semester. And a student should pass in all the core subjects of the BDS program before starting the internship program. So that is about the part 7 of the curriculum. Next is part 8, which deals with the competencies. So before, that is Indian dental graduate, when completing a BDS program, it is said that the program outcome, that is, they should be competent in, there is a list of 27 competencies. They should be competent in all those 27 listed competencies. That is a program outcome. And course outcome means it deals with each subject. That is, they are specific and measurable statements. That is, they assess the knowledge and skill of that dental graduate. That is a course outcome in that particular subject. And as said earlier, entrustable professional activities, that is also assessed. That is, the student should be able to perform the task at distance supervision. Again, 8Com module, again there is a list of program outcome is the whole BDS program outcome, sir. List. Diagnosis and treatment planning. Regarding the 8Com module, in that also about 51 competencies are listed. We'll just see, I have taken the preclinical prosthodontics as an example. So the aim of the preclinical prosthodontics is to expose the students before they enter the prosthodontics clinics. So they should be they should have a knowledge, and they should know how to apply the knowledge in clinics, in the prosthodontics. So in preclinical prosthodontics, the theory credits 1.25 and practical credits of 7.5. So a total of 8.75 credits should be there before they can enter the clinics, prosthodontics clinics. For that, they have to attend 325 total in theory and preclinical. So for assessing the preclinical prosthodontics, as you all know, preclinical prosthodontics, it is divided into complete denture, removable partial denture, fixed prosthodontics, or implant and maxillofacial. So each part has a weightage. And in complete denture prosthodontics, the student has to complete 22 activities. That is just an example for you people to understand. That is PCP is preclinical prosthodontics. So there are so many listed minor competencies. One is to identify, that is 1.1, identify and outline the anatomy of denture bearing areas. That is one competency the student should acquire. And that you can, how will you teach the student. That is, you can give a lecture, or by DOP, that is demonstration, observation, performance, and assisting and performance. And there are various assessment methods, which includes OSPE, that is a new term, objective structured practical examination. Then they can you can conduct a viva, or DOPS, that is direct observation procedure skill. That is various assessment methods, and they have listed for preclinical prosthodontics as well as the other subjects each competencies. So you can assess each of these levels, and later on, when you complete a course, that is a preclinical prosthodontics is a course. So a candidate completing the course should be able to demonstrate the course outcome. So the major course outcome, that is course outcome 1, 2, there are at least 8 major course outcomes. So major course outcome 1 is demonstrate knowledge and understanding of the anatomy of denture bearing areas, materials used, armamentarium, and the process of complete denture fabrication. So this course outcome 1 can be assessed using preclinical prosthodontic minor competency numbers given. Earlier shown, these can be used to assess the course outcome or major competencies. So like preclinical prosthodontics, it is given for each and every subject. So the major competencies assess the various levels the students attain, that is major competency 1, 2, and 3. The student can remember and understand. Major competency 4, 5, 6, 7, they can apply and analyze. And major competency 8, they can evaluate and create. And regarding the entrustable professional activities, again, there are 4 levels of assessment, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is just an example of preclinical prosthodontics, just for you to understand. And after that, you can conduct a summative assessment, which includes 200 marks. So that completes part 7 and part 8 of curriculum. Thank you.
Thank you, Liti. You might have heard 2 terms, summative assessment and formative assessment. Like, what summative assessment is your year-end examination. And the summative assessment. Formative assessment is your internal assessment examination, but that is different from internal assessment examination. But at least you know that formative assessment is your new internal assessment examination. We are not going into the details of that. Deepthi madam, I am very happy to ask questions to Dr. Deepthi because she is my BDS classmate. At that time, she used to ask me so many questions to trouble me, and this is my turn to take revenge on Deepthi. Deepthi, what do you mean by choice-based credit system?
Let me thank the organizers for having me here today. It's an honor, like all of us feel, to be back in the place where we studied, because this is home for us. Thank you, Dr. Prashant, for that question. What I've understood from choice-based credit system is the term itself tells you that there are credits. And what is a credit? Like Dr. Liti has clearly explained, teaching hours have been translated to credits. And they have given it very specifically. So where does the word choice come in? What I've understood is, you can categorize it into 3. One is the core course meaning the subject. The core courses you have to attend, I guess, 5 to 80 hours. That is clinical as well as practical, like didactic, and that amounts to 173 credits. So if you attend 5,280 hours of core courses, you can get 173 credits. The next category is elective. Elective is where you get to choose. So I guess the word choice in that term comes from the kind of elective subjects that you can choose. That is minimum 9. And I guess you have to sit for 360 hours where you get 18 credits. And finally, you have another set of courses that is a non-CGPA. That is where you don't need any exams.
And for that, you have to attend 8650 hours where you get 270 credits. So this is the categorization of CBCS. I
Okay.
don't know whether I have understood it completely.
Okay. Deepti, actually, it is a each semester, it's a full-fledged 5-month academic program, right? 1 month is given free. I think that is given for maybe giving leaves to the students or maybe to compensate for the time that we lost. So you feel we are a little bit cramped in this semester system.
Dr. Prashant, the same thing is done in the engineering side also. They try to finish a semester in 5 months. But I don't know how it's going to translate to dentistry because we have patients to look after. I don't know how it's going to play out practically. I think we can have a go at it. And if it's not working, I think it can be,
No, we cannot go back actually once it is rolled out. We cannot go back.
In the sense, can the 5-month thing be stretched to 6?
Yes.
That is what I was wondering.
Yes.
Because there are human factors at play here.
Plus electives also will come in. So we will get too cramped.
I feel there is a possibility that it could get crammed because it's not entirely non-clinical.
Yes.
That part has to be addressed, I guess.
I know what happened to my son. He is doing engineering. So once he jumped into the semester system, he is moving like a machine. He is not bothered whether examinations are happening, whether year-end examination is happening, whether internal examination is happening. He is going peacefully daily. And if there is examination, he will write. If there is no examination, he will come back. So we will also come into that particular mode, not too much worried about the examinations and all. It seems like that. Competencies. Samsar was asking question about competence. Can you explain what the term competency?
Sir, they have defined competency as some kind of a complex behavior where a general dentist is able to perform the task independently and unsupervised. So that basically means they're making you sort of industry ready, like the engineers say. That's what I've understood. So I feel that the moment a general dentist, a BDS graduate passes out or graduates from our institution, he or she should be ready to start their own practice like we used to do maybe when we were students, because they have been trained in all the basic procedures and that kind of a complex, because as we know our procedures have psychomotor, so many aspects are there in dentistates, thinking, art, working, all those things. And so all those things on a basic level should be the graduate, an undergraduate should be able to perform. So that is what I have understood by competencies.
Sir, say for example, it's an RCT. Actually, there are many competencies involved. Giving anesthesia, proper anesthesia, doing this cleaning and shaping of the root canal, doing the obturation, doing the post-endodontic restoration. So all these skills comes together to constitute that particular thing. So that means once a student pass out and he start doing independent practice, he should be able to do all these things independently. So that how we will ensure that we have to train him in such a way that, and we have to assess him in such a way that, not assess, but we have to grade him in such a way that if you give him a pass certificate, he should be able to go out and do the work independently. So that is a responsibility of the system to ensure that he is a competent dentist. That is what I believe. Madam, any difference of opinion about what I have told? Okay, right.
This 27.
Yes, it is available in the annexure, sir.
Yes.
I will share it in our staff group. All the documents regarding the new curriculum, including all the annexes, I will share in the staff group so that everyone can have a look at it. It is. So, Bindu madam is there. Madam, can you say some comments about this?
UHAS has developed a competency-based curriculum. That is, we are in Perio, we are done a competency in periodontal probing. There are so many steps are standardized, and then we are training the students to achieve that competency.
Dr. Prashant, shall I?
Yes, Suitra.
So what they are telling is the identified 27 competencies now, it is based upon the need of the society. And they are telling the universities of the respective states are given the freedom to come up with new competencies as and when the societal needs change.
Yes, specialty associations can play a huge role in identifying the competencies and helping out the system.
Yes, we can have all these 27, but you can add more. That is given. That freedom is given to the institution as well.
Okay.
And one thing which Deepthi ma'am was telling, that is regarding the choice. What I understand, I don't know, Dr. Prashant or other senior staff, you may help me with that. The choice is given for not only the selection of the electives, but also for the core subjects. That how it's working out is, that is 2 semesters contribute to 1 academic year. And first year, if we take, that is the anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, and dental anatomy. And they have specified that the student cannot have more than 32 credits in a semester. So that means they can take only 2 courses.
Yes.
So among the 4, they can take only 2 courses. So 40 students or 50 students are getting admitted. 20 are taking up with anatomy and physiology. The other 20 may be taking the other things. So it gives advantage of small group discussions, and teaching will be more effective, and the available resources can be utilized more by the students.
Exactly same as happening in engineering.
Yes.
So half of the students will be studying a different course. I'm not using the subject term subject. Half of the students will be doing a separate different course, and half of the students will be doing a different course. At the end of the first year, both batches will complete all the 4 courses.
Just one more thing. What I understood on competency is Dr. Litty has presented it as major competency, and she has detailed the competencies. So I think, for example, like Dr. Prashant was saying, doing an RCT. So every step has been broken down, and that has been numbered, so that you can, I think you can tick it and go if you say that. So those things, I think we have a more structured approach to, it's measurable. It's not depending on the whims and fancies of the assessor. I think that could be one great advantage of this competency-based.
Everyone will become objectively structured, including the evaluation.
Yes,
Everyone.
yes, Dr. Ambali was
Everything.
saying it's becoming more objective. Rather than, if I don't like your face, then I will not give you marks. I think that kind of thing can completely go out of the window, and we can have a, proper structured assessment. That is what, I think that is the objective of this kind of assessment. I think that's what I think.
Harshan sir has something to ask.
See, in the credit system, a student has to attend a particular number of classes. Nowadays, there is a tendency to give duty leave to the students for attending sports activities, arts, etc. So how it can be compensated? I don't think giving duty leave is a fair thing. Attending a class means we have to really attend the class. So there is no other alternative for that. In case a student has to participate in a sports or arts program, the KUHAS or the university should earmark a particular period for that, and other students should also be given leave or holiday, declare holiday for that. That is what I feel.
Could it be possible that we can have recorded versions of our classes, and they can, I don't know whether it's ethical and whether they're going to do it properly.
Maybe, sir, Harshan sir, maybe that's why they might have kept it as 75% minimum attendance. They have brought down, right, from 80%. So
yeah.
Whatever other, if they are not attending the classes, it is an absent only, but they need to have only 75%.
There is
attendance.
no duty leave as such, because students have got only one duty, that is to study. They have to, yes, no doubt. See, the question is that you are attending a practical session on giving local anesthesia. You are given duty leave. Then who will teach you the local anesthesia? You are attending a class, theory class on component, amalgam. You are taking duty leave. Then the duty leave will benefit you in any way in doing that procedure in the clinic? No, absolutely no. So we are not like arts and science colleges. We are a professional college where mastering the required competency is mandatory to go over to the society and to practice. So just like Harshan sir told, duty leave, there is absolutely no duty leave. Only one duty is to learn. So we don't expect Lionel Messi to happen from dental college. We don't expect Usain Bolt to come from dental college. So far it didn't happen. It will not happen either. So taking unwanted, unnecessary duty leave, you are compensating on your professional prospects. This is what I believe. Sir, sir. Exactly same. Any comments from any panelists on this?
That is, in the new regulations, it is told co-curricular activities. That is, co-curricular activities is for attending conferences and things like that. So from that also we can presume that these extracurricular activities all should be, the students may go, but other than outside the curricular, the time entrusted for the curricular.
Yeah, that 5 months, is there 1 month freeway space is given. Freeway space, I'm using the term because I'm a prosthodontist. So 1 month freeway space is there. So from that, let KUHS conduct all the programs in 10 or 12 days so that everyone can participate and everyone can watch. Instead of disturbing the academic schedule, KUHS should have a sports schedule and art schedule so that from that 1 month free time, and that will be more effective. I don't think giving duty leave will help in any way. Yes, Tinky madam has something to tell. Please come forward, madam. Please.
Sir, my doubt is actually you are saying that the teaching hours will be 8 hours per day. So we have to give them lunch break also. For 9 hours. 9 hours. So our duty time will be from 8 to 5. Yes. Okay. Then definitely we and the students need a break, sir. We should promote our extracurricular activities also. Without that, the students will, I don't think.
See, Tinky madam പറഞ്ഞ രണ്ടാമത്തെ കോമ്പണന്റ് ആണ് എനിക്ക് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടത്. സ്റ്റാഫിന് വേണം എക്സ്ട്രാ കരിക്കുലർ ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ് എന്ന്. Yes, I think the working days of the staff should be made 5 days instead of 6. Let the college remain closed maybe for 2 days and let the academic program extend for a couple of hours. We can let the students take a couple of days weekend break. Something has to come in. But I will tell that this is happening in engineering institutions. It is nothing new to the government. So they will not consider it. They will say that you have to work, you have to be in the college for 8 hours plus 1 hour lunch break. So there will be flexible timings. Staffs will have to work more. All these things are bound to happen. Any comments, Divya madam?
8 hours working per day is for 10 months only. They have given 2 months totally free. So that can be broken up in between.
I think we just have to make up the hours.
We have to.
Hours.
Yes.
So many sighing and so many heartbreaks, when that 8-hour thing came. I think all of us also started.
It is interesting that when we say, I mean, staffs are very happy when we say that you should not be given, students should not be given breaks, and students are very happy when they hear that staffs need to work for more. So it is instead of being supportive, we are being very very yes. We are തൊഴിലാളി മുതലാളിയും പോലെയുള്ള ഒരു പ്രവർത്തനമെന്നാണ് തോന്നുന്നത്. വർഗശത്രുക്കളെ പോലെയാണെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. അങ്ങനെയൊന്നുമില്ല. We are here for your betterment and you are our pride. Whenever you get good grades, whenever you get ranks, when you perform well, we all feel excited. So നമ്മളെ തൊഴിലാളി മുതലാളി ബന്ധം പോലെയല്ല. You consider as a single unit with 2 different components. Shall we go to the next segment? Reshmi, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now coming to the last and final part of the whole curriculum. And first of all, this is something with no confusions. It is very clear. It is certain regulations and instructions for the governing bodies. So part 9 deals with the general conditions to be observed by undergraduate training institutions. So they say that the universities awarding BDS and MDS degree should have separate or independent dental faculty in the university, which we have. And all state governments and the Union Territory administrations should set up separate health universities for training in health sciences, like our KUHS. That is, these universities or these subjects should not be in, along with the arts and science universities. We have a separate health university in our state. Now, coming to the infrastructural requirements, when we go through this, we can see that they say that there should be a separate administrative block itself for dental institutions, and these administrative blocks should include principal's room, the administrative officer's room, office, meeting rooms, then pantry and all these. And the requirements are different or almost the double for colleges with 100 admissions than those with 50 admissions. Then the library, there should be a very full-fledged library with waiting areas, with reading rooms to accommodate at least 50% of the total number of students at a time. For example, if we have 300 students at a time in our institution, undergraduate students, we should at least 150 should be able to be accommodated at a time in the library. And there should be reading rooms separately for postgraduates and staff. There should be facilities for taking photocopies in the library. There should be a room for chief librarian. There should be all these audiovisual facilities should be there in the library. Then coming to the lecture halls, there should be at least 4 lecture halls, and each lecture hall should be able to accommodate 10% more of the total intake of students per year. That if the intake is 50, at least 55 students should be able to be accommodated in each lecture hall, because we expect some additional students to be there. Then coming to the central stores, the central store should be with proper racks and refrigerators, and preferably with compact storage systems, because everything related to the college is stored there. All the medicines and materials and everything in the central store. Then there should be a maintenance room for the repair of dental chairs and other equipments. There should be a room solely for repairing dental chairs and the equipments. Then there should be a photography room and an artist room for developing photographs, for making charts, models, everything. Then there should be amenities area, that is the recreation area, separate for boys and girls. Then resting room separate for male staff and female staff. Changing room separately for male staff and female staff. Then compressor room and for gas cylinders, for storing gas cylinders, following the safety precautions by the regional and the state authorities. We should have rooms for placing compressors and also gas cylinders. Then there should be cafeteria. If it is a 50 intake college, the cafeteria should be able to accommodate about 80 people at a time. It is like that. Then the examination hall for 50 admissions. The examination hall should be able to seat about 125 students at a time, because more than one examination happens at a time. And there should be the chair should be arranged properly with proper spacing. There should be individual tables. There should be a centralized monitoring system while the examinations are being conducted. Then hostels. For at least for 60% of the admissions per year, hostel facilities should be provided separately for girls and for boys. Then staff quarters, especially if the college is in a remote area where you don't have much of a facility for accommodation, at least 50% of the staff should be given, both teaching and non-teaching staff should be given accommodation. Then coming to playground, yes, we should have facilities for indoor and outdoor games. Then auditorium, for 50 admissions, the auditorium should be able to accommodate 300 people at a time, and for 100 admissions, 500 people at a time. Then there should be a medical records area where all the medical records are being stored. Then coming to the laboratories for the dental subjects, preclinical prosthodontic lab should be there. Then conservative phantom head lab should be there. Then there should be a separate dental material lab. Then should be laboratory facilities for orthodontics and periodontics. Then area for demonstration of basic life support and advanced life support along with mannequins. A demonstration area should be there separately. Then coming to the clinical labs, the prosthodontics department should have a plaster room, casting area and a ceramic lab. And for conservative also we need plaster room, casting room and a ceramic lab. Then a histopathology lab for oral pathology should be there. Apart from that, there should be a hematology lab and also a clinical biochemistry lab for carrying out the routine blood and urine analysis that is required before our procedures. Then it is said or they regulate that the minimum built up area of a dental college excluding the hostel and staff quarters, should not be less than 30,000 square feet in the initial years, and when it does the children or the students reach the third year, it should not be less than 50,000 square feet, the total area. Now the infection control and central sterilization, it is very important. There should either be a centralized sterilization department for the entire college, or if it is separately for each department, there should be designated areas for scrubbing, then they should be for sanitization, hand sanitization, then with the tabs being operated with elbows or food controls. Then there is something known as an instrument management system, which is an integrated and optimal infection prevention protocols, which allows to improve efficiency and safety of dental procedures, which begins right from the chair side, disinfection of the chair side, to the cleaning of the instruments, then the proper sterilization happening, and then the storage. So infection control is very important. Then coming to the requirement for journals, there should be at least one national and international journal, which could either be in the print format or online in each specialty, and additional e-journals in other specialties are also desirable. Then teaching aids, all the modern available teaching aids like the audiovisual aids with multimedia projectors. Then computers should be there in classrooms and for the administrative work, for in libraries. Then skill labs, that's very important, clinical skill labs for demonstration of CPR, BLS, IV cannulation, IM injections, and local anesthesia should be there. Then the campus should be Wi-Fi enabled completely. There should be distilled water plant. The distilled water plant, it can be a centralized plant that provides distilled water to the whole institution. At a rate of about 200 liters of distilled water should be there each day. Then there should be separate ambulance services for the institution. Then there should be simulation skill labs with 3D designing softwares and printers, and at least 50 simulation units should be there in an institution for preclinical training is what they are telling. And there should be at least 2 satellite centers, not or within 50 kilometers, with all the infrastructural facilities. Like we have we are tied up with the Pangapara Center. Then this is to expose the children to the students to community dental health programs. And we can have a Sevagram model adoption of villages. So when a student comes or enrolls for the program, he is allotted a family, and they take care of the dental needs of the family for the whole course, and it is evaluated at the end of the for the PhD or the public health dentistry examination. It is evaluated and it is scored. That is a Sevagram model of adoption. Then there should be complete or live CCTV streaming of all the areas of the teaching or the lecture classes, of the clinics, patient care area. Everything is will be monitored by the DCI is what they are telling. They should be mandatory tobacco cessation clinic. Then all colleges, independent colleges is what they are talking about, should be attached to medical colleges. Then the functional area for each, there are specifications for each department. Then each department should have a separate reception, waiting area, then undergraduate clinic, departmental store, seminar demonstration rooms, separate rooms for the staff. Then for storing the medical records, there should be a separate area. And it is said that there should be 75 square feet area should be designated for each dental chair. Then the requirement of dental chairs in various specialties is different. Not all departments have the same requirement of dental chairs. And it is said that UG clinic, each UG clinic should be approximately 12,500 square feet in size for 50 admissions. And for 100 admissions, it is 25,000 square feet. Each clinic should be. Then there should be a research cell mandatory, which should be headed by a faculty not below the rank of an associate professor, and preferably a person with the maximum number of publications to his credit is considered for this. Then accreditations, the NIRF ranking is mandatory, and additional ranking is also desirable, national or international ranking with other ranking systems of the country or the outside. Now there should be a dental education unit, which will be headed by a professor, and one member from each department will be included in that. They have to conduct regular faculty development programs, and they are also in charge of maintaining certain documents, that is program specific outcomes, the program learning outcomes, the feedbacks from all the stakeholders, and an annual report is also prepared by them, which shows that the whole process, the whole academics happening will be closely monitored by a designated body. It will not be something like very non-systematic or anything. It will be very systematic, especially the academic part of the curriculum. There should be a separate implant clinic, which is apart from any of the other specialities. Then equipment and other requirements, they have given a very big list for each of the departments, which we usually follow for our inspections. It's not much of a difference is there. We need all the basic equipments. Then one expensive equipment is a CBCT machine is mandatory in the oral medicine department. Now the basic minimum qualifications and teaching experiences. With a BDS degree, you can be employed as a tutor. And once you complete your post-graduation, you can work as a senior resident, and within 1 year you complete that. Then you can be promoted as an assistant professor. Then 4 years as assistant professor, you become an associate professor. And 3 years of associate professor, you become a professor. And 1 year in the professor post, you are qualified to become the head of the department. And total 5 years of professorship means you are qualified to become the principal of the institution. Now the weightage is given for the further research work. If we are going for pursuing full-time PhD, you will get 3 years additional teaching experience. And for part-time, it is 1 year, but it should be from a NAC A accredited university. Now, publication points. The points are awarded based on the indexing and impact factor of the journals. For PubMed indexed and Scopus indexed journals, you get 15 points. For the next category of journals by the universities, or the ICMR recognized studies, or if you have authored a book, or if you have acquired PhD, you will get 10 points. Then the other journals, you will get 5 points. But not all the authors will get the full 100% points. Only in the first category, for the original research, all the 6 authors will get the full points. Otherwise, only the first author will get the full point. The other authors, 5 co-authors, will get only 50% points. Now, if we have 40 points for your publication, you can become the head of the department. With 30 points, you can become professor, and with 20 points, you can become associate professor. But that is not the end of the story. Every 3 years, teaching faculty will be assessed, and you should have additional points, at least 15 points acquired within the 3 years. Every 3 years. Once you become a professor, you can't sit idle. You have to do further research work, and you have to get more points. Then in some institutions, you have people with MSc degree teaching the basic sciences. But those faculty with an MSc degree, that is without an MD degree, that is basic medical sciences, they cannot be promoted beyond the post of associate professor. And every 3 years, you should do refresher training programs, teachers training programs. The faculty should attend refresher training programs. And all the practicing dentists should be registered with the National Health Authority and Unique Indian Dentist Registry. Now, requirement of dental teaching staff. The major difference from the existing system is that you need a professor in all the departments from third year onwards. But now we don't require that for some of the departments. But according to the new regulations, for all departments, there should be a professor, even for undergraduate teaching. Now there is all these regulations are there, but you have a saving clause. After gazetting, within 1 year, all the institutions should adopt the new curriculum, and you can take another 1 year to train your faculty for this choice-based credit system. So you can take some time, but nobody can escape this. You have to fall into the groove. So with that, we come to the end of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Reshmi. Actually, can I ask some of the questions to Sunita madam? Madam, what do you mean by simulation labs? In what way they differ from preclinical labs?
Actually, simulation labs are a place where a student can practice the clinical skills or in a real life situation. So they will be given like in a clinical setup how they are. So this simulation lab starts from the preclinical years onwards,
and they'll be given an area where they can practice all the skills before they go into the clinics. They can actually visualize the clinical scenario before they go to the clinics. And one more thing which when I went through the regulations, I have seen that there are almost more than 50 simulation areas which they are planning to. And something which we lack in the current scenario is that as BDS graduates, the students are not well trained in certain areas like as how to manage an emergency situation, how to give an IV, how to give an IM injection. So even see, once a BDS student passes out, they are called doctors, but the students are not well versed in giving a routine injections other than the intraoral injections. So in the new system, it should be mandatory that there should be simulation labs which will cater to these needs. That is, there should be situation like they should be able to get trained on a day-to-day basis, like a basic life support. We all do basic life support courses once in a year. It is mandatory once in a year, or once in 2 years it is mandatory. But that should that we tend to forget, or rather the students tend to forget. If they are doing the basic life support course once in a year, or if they are being trained for an IV once in a year, they'll tend to forget. But rather than, it should be on a day-to-day basis where the student can practice every day. So that facility should be available it is good that they are planning for almost 50 different simulation scenarios in the new system. Along with the 3D printing and all, they are planning in the new system. That's good.
Yes, KUHS has already done some programs on this simulation labs. As you are aware, some of the training programs are already, they have already started. Simulation lab is a real life training. For the students' benefit, you go to the preclinical lab, you make special trays, right? That is preclinical lab. So you practice injections on a mannequin before you go to the oral surgery clinic or to the prostho or conservative. So that will be done in the simulation lab. So one more lab is coming up, then that is known as simulation lab. That will be running 24 hours. So if you want to practice some particular skill, you can go to that skill lab and you can practice on a daily basis. If you feel that if you go to CD, do an RCT, you find that infiltration is difficult for you, go to the skill lab. There will be teachers, they'll teach you on a daily basis. That is a concept behind skill lab that will help you to develop your skills. How the research cell for undergraduate students becomes mandatory. In what way that will benefit us?
Yes, that is definitely going to be a benefit for the undergraduate students, because in the current scenario, we give more importance to only the postgraduate students to come up with their research work. And the BDS students, or rather the undergraduate students, are not well trained on research activities unless some students who are motivated, they come up with some ideas. So in the current scenario, when we give more importance to the research activities from the undergraduate level, we should be able to guide these students with so much of short study, so that they will get into a track of how to do a research, how to do a publication. So they'll be well trained before they come to the postgraduate or rather they can think whether they want to do a post-graduation or they want to go to the research area. So that sort of training from the undergraduate level is well and good. And they can also apply for grants from ICMR. So how to apply for a grant, how to go about with the ICMR studies, that sort of training from the undergraduate level is good in this current regulation which is going to come.
Rashmi was telling that a faculty cannot remain idle, and he has to acquire 15 points in every publication points in every 3 years. So a model which is happening in our department is very good. Wherever I go, I say that the head of the department used to assign various works to various faculty. They work with the PGs and do the publication. So HOD assigns faculty with the PGs to do the publication. So everyone is ensured that they'll be getting publication points in prosthodontics. That's a very good model that we are following in our department, because it's a very good system. Wherever I go, I say that our head of the department ensures that all the faculty are getting enough number of publication points on an yearly basis. So this is a model that we are following. So is there any other way by which you can help, or a department as a system or a college as a unit can help the faculty to get publication points on a regularly basis? In some places I have heard is that only the top one or two do all the publications, despite having a postgraduate program running, and all the junior faculty are not getting opportunity involving in the publications. We all know that all our postgraduate teachers, according to the definition of DCI. So is there any mechanism? I told what is happening in my department. Can you suggest something for the various departments and colleges so that we can ensure that all the faculty are getting enough opportunities for doing publications?
Yes, I would like to tell you regarding this in two aspects. One aspect is that, as you said, it is only the guide or the co-guide and the postgraduate student who is getting the publication points, because they are the ones who are actively involved in that particular study. If it is a thesis, only the guide and the co-guide and the student is involved. And it is not advisable that we go for people who are not directly involved in that particular area. That is called ghost publication, so that should not be promoted. But rather than that, we can do something else. We can give the little bit, we can make others also involved in that activity. We can give a little bit of part of that study being monitored by one of our junior faculty who can also get involved into that. Or you can give part of that study to one of our undergraduate students, so that they will also get to learn more about how work is done and how a publication is done. They can also be trained from the undergraduate level. So that is how you can increase the number of persons who are involved in that particular work, and also you can get more number of people into that publication rather than just putting the name. It is a common practice that if we pay money, your name will come in a publication. It's called ghost publication. That should not happen. Rather, you make involvement of each and every one who is your junior faculty or your undergraduate student to come and actively participate in that study and get the publication done in their names also.
So you have, just like what is happening in our department, you
Yes.
have to assign active roles to
Yes.
all faculty members so that they will be getting a regular publication opportunities.
Yes.
Yes.
And one more thing I would like to add to that. Another aspect is that we all have good work, original work we all have regarding the PG thesis, or rather in any original study we all have good work. But when it comes to publication, when we go for Q1 publication, the amount incurred for getting a work published is huge. So then we'll think of putting that publication to the next level, Q2, Q3, Q4, we'll go by that. And another thing is that it is in that particular area where additional to make the cost balance, additional orders will also be put into practice or put into place. So to avoid that, I would suggest that there should be some sort of financial aid given from the university or from the institution. Some sort of budget allocation should be there for publication itself, so that we all will be promoting Q1 publications more and more in the future.
Our university also ideally should have a Q1 or Q2 publication.
Yes.
So that we can all publish in that. So in
Yes.
that aspect, I think university should look into the matter and start publications, journals.
Yes.
Journals, and even capable institutions also should work in that regard. Specialty associations should also work in that regard. Okay. In Annexure F, we were discussing about the number of faculty. But number of faculty seems very less, despite an enormous increase in the workload. Prosto again has got only one professor.
Yes.
So council is increasing the workload, but they are not increasing the staff requirement proportionately.
Yes, yes, that definitely has to be brought before the council, because see, when we want to deliver our that is quality work, we need to have more faculties rather than just cramping all the work to the existing faculties. You should have more number of faculties so that the efficient distribution of the work, and to improve the quality, definitely there should be an increase in the number of faculty. And when it is 50 admission, the number of faculties, when it goes to 100 admission, it should be definitely double rather than maintaining the same number of faculties. That is what I think. There is no clarity regarding that in the regulation. When it goes to 100 admission, is the number of faculties are also double. I have seen that in infrastructure, if it is 1000 square feet for 50 admissions, it is 2000 square feet for the 100 admissions. Same case, that should come into practice regarding the number of faculties also. When it is 100 admission, there should be double the number of faculties. And when it is a postgraduate institution, again, to impart quality work, we should have more number of faculties to distribute the work and get a quality work efficiently.
Infrastructure is an important thing. You know, most of the colleges, what happens is that when the inspection come, they'll do some gimmicks and get the recognition. So getting recognized become the priority rather than trying to improve on the infrastructure. So don't you feel that the council should ensure that infrastructure facility is properly given in all colleges?
Yes, definitely the council should ensure that there should be infrastructure should be proper as per the guidelines. But you cannot always ensure, because as you have already said, at the time of inspection everything goes on with bright colors rather than what it actually happens. So I don't know how efficiently the council can analyze or assess that.
Don't you feel that council is diluting things on certain aspects and they are being strict in certain other aspects, maybe because of compulsions of management, maybe because of compulsions of government? There is a, despite telling all these things, despite having these inspections ever since 1950, nothing improved drastically. So I hope that, things improve really on a grassroots level. So what is your comment on that, basically?
Yeah, definitely that should be looked upon. But you cannot say that in every institution it happens. There are institutions which maintains good infrastructure, which maintains quality standards, which we should also appreciate that. And there are institutions where they run with the minimum infrastructure. And in our present scenario, we don't know how effectively the council can monitor that. That is something we don't have an answer on that.
Thank you, panelists. Is there any other question? We are going to wind up in 1 minute.
ഞാൻ മലയാളത്തിൽ സംസാരിക്കും. ഈ വർക്കിംഗ് അവേഴ്സിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞു. 8 hours എ ഡേ ആണ് പറഞ്ഞേക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ 8 hours എ ഡേ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഒരു വീക്കിൽ 2 days എക്സ്ട്രാ വരും. മന്ത്ലി 30%, 8 ദിവസം എക്സ്ട്രാ ആണ് വരുന്നത്. അത് ഈ സാലറിയിലാണ് ഇരിക്കുന്നത്. വർക്ക് പാറ്റേണും പല ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റിലും പ്രൊഫസർഷിപ്പ് പോലും കൊടുത്തിട്ടില്ല. നേരത്തെ കൊടുക്കുമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു, പീഡോയിലൊന്നും പ്രൊഫസർ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഈ സെയിം സ്റ്റാഫ് പാറ്റേൺ, സെയിം സാലറി, 30% കൂടുതൽ ഇൻക്രീസ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് സേവന വേതന ഇതിലാണ് വരുന്ന സാധനം. അപ്പം നമ്മുടെ ഡ്യൂട്ടീസിനെ കുറിച്ച് സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു പാരലായിട്ട് വരുന്നതാണ് റൈറ്റ്സ്. അത് എൻഷുർ ചെയ്യാൻ ഇവിടെ എവിടെയാണ് മെൻഷൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത് എനിക്ക് അറിഞ്ഞ കൊള്ളാം.
നമുക്കൊരു വീക്കിലി എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു 36 hours എത്ര വർക്ക് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് സാർ? എത്ര സാർ വീക്കിലി 36 hours ആണോ? അങ്ങനെ എന്തോ ഒരു സാധനമുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ 36 hours-നേക്കാളും നമ്മൾ കൂടുതൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നതാണെങ്കിൽ സാധാരണ നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് എന്താ വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു
So how far it's all possible to be implemented in a government sector, that depends upon the budget allocation for education and health sector. So that has to be improved, then only we can get it done, all these things. And one more thing regarding the research, for your question was what role research with the undergraduate students. So Sunila ma'am was telling there can be a research flair for that can be developed in the undergraduate, so they can pursue with the postgraduates. Then they can also take up a profession other than dentistry itself in the research field. Then another thing is what happens currently is everybody stops learning once everybody is not taking post graduation. They will be, many of them will be practicing as general dentists, so they stop their study with the BDS or whatever they have studied in the college. So though the council is insisting upon taking credit points, that is with the CDs attending, then only we can renew our dental council registration. It is there, but other than that, when during the undergraduate period, when we are bringing them into this research climate, they will be introduced to how to read through articles and all. So they can self-learning is possible lifelong, referring into the articles, making the practice more evidence-based.
Yes, thank you. I think it's time to conclude. Harshan sir, can you say 2 sentences to wind up this, because you are the vice principal. Sir, please come forward, sir. Vice principal is in charge of academics, so he is the right person to make the final comment before we conclude.
So, good afternoon. Actually, I am standing before you with mixed feelings. Mainly, I am proud just because all of you, except Divya, are my students. Sorry. Okay, missed one. Then, and another thing is, 3 are from Prosto department. So initially I was not planning to come because already 3 are here. Few are on late permission, leave, etc. So that's why I was sitting at the back. Just because the program went so well, I sat throughout. Congratulations to the moderator as well as the panelists. And one more thing I want to add is that our students did not participate in this program so effectively. I expected lot more participation, active participation from them. In future, you should come with some questions. You should stand up and place it before the panelists. That is what I feel. And regarding the moderator and the panelists, we have to select representatives from each batch, and they in turn will teach their classmates. Likewise, we have to take it little more seriously. Even I was aware of this program just 1 or 2 days ago. In the morning, I was not planning to come, not because of other things. I was too busy with the departmental activities. I was on leave for the last 2 days. Just because I sorted out all these things, I came here, and it was so well presented. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Okay. So this panel discussion was organized by the Faculty Development Cell, Government Dental College Thiruvananthapuram, along with Curriculum Monitoring Committee and Academic Forum in association with college authorities. All the internal panelists are from the Faculty Development Cell. I am really proud of that because I am the chairperson of the Faculty Development Cell of this particular college. And the credit goes to the 2 persons. Special credits. One is Principal Rita Madam, who supported us in a big way. Second, Dr. Tinky Bose, who was really instrumental in getting the things done in a smooth way. She had a very good team in her department. Dr. Sunu was there. Mini is there. Ramesh was there. Did I miss someone? No. Ashish is there. Then Dr. Manju is here. So we have our vice principal sitting here full time. Senior professors like Mali Madam, Ravi sir. Then Padma Madam was seen. She has gone out, it seems. So it's a good participation. Thank you, students. So thank you for attending this particular program. And really, I wind up this panel discussion on a positive note, and I hand over the mic to the organizers.
Thank you, sir. We have come to the end of a valuable panel discussion on the new BDS curriculum. I am sure that both the staff and the students have benefited from this discussion. It has definitely provided an insight on the curriculum. We extend our wholehearted thanks to all the panelists for accepting this invitation in a very short period of time and coming over and enlightening us. Thank you very much. A special thanks to our moderator, Dr. Prashant sir, for leading us through this discussion. Thank you, sir. And also, we have to thank the organizers, that is the Faculty Development Program Committee, the Curriculum Committee, and the Academic Forum for organizing this in a very short period of time and organizing it really well. Thank you very much. We had a live streaming also, and I think there was just one question which was already answered. Am I right, sir? Yeah. Dr. Beena Verma had asked about the formative assessment, and that was already answered. So everything went on well because of the initiative and of our principal as well as Tinky Madam. Thank you very much, everyone. We are proud to announce and we are also excited to announce the launch of an institutional research journal which showcases the research work by compiling the abstracts of the dissertation submitted to KUHAS by our MDS students each year. As a part of this initiative, we will be unveiling the cover page of the journal titled Dental Scientia. I request our Vice Principal, Dr. Harsh Kumar sir, to please come over and unveil the cover page. Dr. Sunu Madam is the editor of that journal. I request Dr. Harsha sir to just stay back. As a token of appreciation, please hand over the certificates to our external panelist. I call upon Dr. Suchitra MS. Sir, please. Dr. Ambli R. Dr. Deepthi Simon. Dr. Sunila Thomas. Thank you very much. I call upon Dr. Sam sir to hand over the certificate of appreciation to Dr. Divya. Dr. Kavita. Dr. Litty. Dr. Rishmi. I now call upon Dr. Mali, Madam, to please come over and hand the certificate to our moderator who led the show. A big thanks to all the staff members and also the students who have kept this as a live performance. Thank you very much.